Hey everybody, welcome back to City Sewers. It's been a little crazy the past week or so. I've been actually out sick. I started feeling bad around Wednesday, Thursday, and took a test on Sunday and it's COVID positive, so that's fun. I am feeling much better now, but that does mean that the kids are home for the week because of the positive COVID test. Even though I was pretty much at the tail end of it when I actually took the test, it is what it is. So things have been a little bit hectic, but we have a big announcement to make. But we're gonna do that. David and I will make that announcement together, and so that'll be a little later in this video. But I wanted to talk about goats for a moment. Miss Betsy, we are trying to decipher if she's actually pregnant or not. And we were going to send in blood work this week, but because it was a holiday weekend, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I was not able to send the blood sample into the lab because they only test on certain days. And I just didn't want to pay expedited shipping to have results by the end of this week. So basically, I'm kind of running some home pregnancy exams until this weekend when I can actually get a blood draw on her. But let's take a look at the suspected mommy-to-be. Betsy, do you have babies for me? Alright, so quick lesson here on goats is when they're pregnant, babies will be on the right side. So because she's facing us, it's going to be our left. This is her right side. So left is lunch. That's where her rumen is, and it's going to always look kind of big on that side. But right side is babies. And you can see she's kind of symmetrical. I mean, her left side is maybe a little bit bigger because she's full. But it's hard to tell. She's a little bit of a rounder goat anyway. I mean, her first pregnancy, she had triplets in there, and I thought surely she only had one because she didn't get big. So last year she got bigger but only had one giant singleton. So I just don't know. It's hard to tell with her. Betsy just seems to be my little secret keeper. She doesn't want to tell me when she's in heat. She doesn't want to tell me when she's pregnant. She's just difficult that way. But some of the other ways that we can tell, let's see, her due date is March 10th. So we're still a little early to be able to feel any movement in there unless she's got like a lot of them. I did have a feel on her earlier. I got her on the stand and kind of squeezed her belly. I didn't feel any movement, but I'm not certain if I felt when I was kind of squeezing and moving, if I was just feeling, guts rolling around, or if I maybe felt a body. I don't know. So we're just going to have to wait and see until she's a little closer. But also another indicator would be her udder. Now, she is kind of fidgety when she's not on the stand. When she's on the stand, she's fantastic. So I have had a few feels down in her udder just to see if it developed at all. And basically, it's like there's nothing there. It's like she's never had babies before. And I had her on the stand today, and there's just the slightest, tiniest bit of softening in the udder area. So I'm not sure if that was already there and wasn't able to feel it just because of how fidgety she is off the stand, or if she has udder development happening. So I'm going to keep an eye on that throughout the week, and if it gets any larger, I'll pretty much have my answer that yes, she's pregnant, because without pregnancy, she wouldn't be developing her udder. So that's fun. But oh my goodness, so in the middle of all this craziness, I have not trimmed the goat's feet in a little bit, and Betsy's feet were atrocious because I haven't had them on the stand since I dried them off, and that was in, well, I didn't dry them off. They got bred in October, so it's actually been a few months. And just being crazy and busy, you don't necessarily remember that, hey, you need to do their feet. And so I did Betsy's feet, but we're going to go ahead and get Jane on the stand, and I will show you what kind of state her feet are in. I haven't looked yet, so we're going to get her on the stand, we'll take a look at her feet, and we'll get her feet trimmed. Come on, darling. Let's get a look. Come on. Thank you. Come on. Come on the stand. Good girl. You're so heavy. Come on. Here we go. Good girl. Come on. What, do we shun the grain now too? You are so picky. Alright, Jane is on the stand. Let's take a look at your feet, darling. Let's see. Let's see. Oh my. Yep. Let's take a look at a back foot. Let's see. I know. Let's see. Yep. These are due. Alright. Let's get you trimmed up, girly. Now, I used to do their feet, let's see, I think it was once a month, and I would file them with actually a door plane, which works. It does work, but it is a lot more labor intensive. And if you have a goat like Betsy, Betsy will, when you pick up her foot, she'll let you hold it for a minute, and then she's going to try and lay down on her knees. She's going to lean on you. It's exhausting. So the file works, but it was exhausting. I would have to do like 1 foot on each goat every day and just take 4 days to do their feet. But I did order a pair of hoof shears, and they have made life way easier. They're nice and sharp. They just cut the edges off. Now, goat feet are just like human fingernails. They grow continuously, and in the wild, wild goat species live in like mountainous rocky areas, so those keep them ground down and keep them filed. But where we put them on nice soft earth, their feet just don't wear down. So we have to keep them trimmed, because you can see in the shot where I was showing her her feet, they curl under, and you can actually trap dirt, poop, debris. It gets bacteria trapped under there, and it can actually cause sores and get infected, which is called foot rot. And it's really not good for their feet. So you got to keep them trimmed it basically keeps their feet clean. So now they are definitely overgrown. Like, my girls are a little overgrown, but they're not infected. Like, they're not in bad shape. We don't have super muddy, mucky, wet ground. They have a nice dry area. So, but places where the ground stays really wet during the winter, that tends to lend itself to more foot rot, because it softens the foot and it's shoving stuff really deeply into those little crevices and nooks and crannies, and so you get more foot infections that way. But keeping their feet nice and trim keeps their feet clean, keeps them healthy. Alright, a few hours and a few tasks later, I'm going to actually show you Jane's finished feet, if she'll let me. Hi, darling. You hanging out? Oh, it's such a pretty girl. Yeah. Oh, you're sitting on all your feet, huh? You're sitting on all your feet? You're not going to show me your feet, are you? Let's see. Alright. Come here, Jane. Here, I'm going to lock her head in between my legs here, and we can show you her feet as a finished product. See, it looks like a nice, perfect goat foot. So, finished product. Their feet look nice now. They're walking proper. Huh, ladies? I know. These are pretty ladies. I know. Little update on the baby rabbits is that they are a little over 7 weeks old now. So coming up on this weekend, they're going to be 8 weeks old, which means they'll be ready to move into the grow out cages and away from mom. So we're going to move them kind of in phases to allow the moms to decrease their milk production, because really if you move all the babies all at once, you do increase the chance of the mom getting mastitis, to have that sudden decrease in demand on her milk. So we'll move a few at a time for a few days and then they'll be fine. But we are in a little bit of a pickle in that we only have 2 grow-out cages and we have 18 babies, and so far no takers. So I don't have any babies that are like ready to go home the day of weaning. So we're gonna try and get those guys out of here. They've been posted for a little bit, but there's just nobody buying them right now. If we can't get anybody to buy them, we're probably gonna have to make more cages. But we're gonna see what we can do to get these guys out of here as soon as possible. Hi guys, look at you. You guys are getting so big. Not too long ago, you guys were just little peanuts. You can see back here, this is our little scruffy looking runt in the back. Look out guys, look out, look out. This guy back here was the little bitty scruffy one who like just barely by the skin of his teeth pulled through. And now he's doing good and he looks like a normal bunny. He's not all scruffy looking anymore. So they're looking great. And we have the one really pretty opal rabbit here. I know it's getting a little dark, but ooh, hello. Hi. Super cute. And then, oh, these guys drank all their water. Time to top them up. But over here, this is Nimwe's batch. And they're very colorful. They're very cute. Very flashy. So I really like these guys. They're super cute. But yeah, they'll be getting weaned here in the next week. Handful of days. So now it's time for that announcement that I mentioned earlier in the video. We have big news.
We do have big news.
I guess maybe we should give a little bit of backstory as to what the news is here.
Well, I mean, from the time we started the City Sowers channel, we have kind of shared with you our passion and dreams for seeking land and growing on a larger scale. We are in the city right now, and we have grown where we were planted. That's kind of been our tagline. You can grow where you're planted, and so that's what we've done. We've literally grown to the limits of this property.
Yes. And
the front yard, which has been a fight. Oh, not a fight. It's been like a ongoing. How about more? Can we take over more of the front yard? Can we take over more? And we on this 5 acre. I'm sorry. 0.5 acre.
Not even 0.5.
Fifth of an acre.
1/5.
Yeah, 1/5 of an acre.
0.2 acres.
We've kind of come to the most that we can do. So I guess over the last year, we have been hoping and praying and thinking about moving.
And it was a little harder to get David on board just because of I haven't seen anywhere. So really our big road trip that a lot of you guys joined us on last summer, where we got to actually go out and see a lot more of the country and see the areas that I was talking to David about wanting to move.
We had to experience it.
Yeah, we got to actually see it and touch it and be there.
So at that point we particularly fell in love with one area that we drove through. Yeah. And it was awesome. And so these California days for us are coming to a close, which is an incredible thing to say.
It really is.
And we are together with our family, our kiddos, and potentially some other family members as they are able to move as well, are going to make our way to...
We are moving to Tennessee.
Tennessee. Which is just insane to say.
And saying that we're moving, we mean like legitimately moving. It's not like we're one day gonna move. David just got a job.
An official starting date of just for me a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
Which is absurd to even think about. And so that's not feasible for Amanda and the kids at the same time. So we're literally gonna be packing up our life here in our current home, and I will be driving across the country to Tennessee
Yes.
to start my new job, while Amanda finishes packing up and selling our house here, at which point she will meet me there.
Yeah, when we have a place to
when
live.
we have a place to live.
So we're in this weird limbo situation where we are getting our house ready to sell before we have a place to live in. So the kids and I are moving in with my parents, but we do have animals that we have to consider, and that means that our goats are going to have to go to, they're going to be boarded with the lady who has their breeding boyfriend. So they're going to go hang out at her place until we are ready to move them. And she's also going to take all of our chickens. We made the decision together not to move our chickens because it's a long cross-country move with chickens. Chickens are easy enough to replace.
Restart a flock there in Tennessee. So, absolutely wild. One very exciting addition that we get to add is that Teddy, our little buckling, or I guess now technically he's a wether. He gets to go with his mom and aunt and us to Tennessee. So we're going to be allowed to have more than 2 goats wherever we land, which is just amazing. Like the dream to grow is so much closer than we ever really, I think, when we dared think it could ever be.
So a lot of these things that have been just
out of harm's reach,
a dream item. Like, I have to actually think, how seriously did I actually want these things, and start setting up 5-year plans and setting up goals, and we can really look for property that can accommodate the things that we really want to do.
Yeah, one of the things that we did when we were back there last week, I had to go out for a final interview and to meet the office staff where I was going to be in person. Really an amazing experience to walk around the city that I'll be working in, and also realistically be looking at properties that we could potentially buy. We were just looking at what's available out there and saying, okay, so how many acres do we want? Is it something where we want to do 10 or 12 or 20 or even 30 acres? And so we landed somewhere in that in that area. That is yet to be revealed to us, which particular property, but one of my tasks while I'm out there starting my new job will be to use my off time to search the houses that Amanda and her mom have found and see if that's really the kind of place we want while they're actually selling our house here, so that we can then use that capital to move and start a new farm elsewhere.
I think that it is very important to note that while we're talking about all of these dreams coming true and all of these things that fell into place, I mean, seriously, all credit goes to the Lord in this. It has been incredible. I mean, we had our eye out on the job market for things that David was qualified to do, and had the skill set to do. And I mean, we found a job, and he applied for a job, got the interview. I mean, everything, just the Lord opened every door to where the first job he applied for, he got. It's like, okay, because I mean, throughout this whole process, like, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. You don't want to get so excited that you just move forward with something you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And we prayed for guidance, and we said, Lord, if this is your will, Lord, open the doors, and if it's not, shut them. And every door so far has been flung wide open. So we are, while it's in this like crazy time of, we don't actually have a place to live yet, I am resting firmly in the knowledge that the Lord is going to open the doors for us to have a place to live.
When we're ready to move, the house will be ready for us, and that's kind of what we're landing on. Obviously, this kind of move has a lot of emotions attached to it. Emotions for us, leaving the community and the people, friends, family that we have grown accustomed to being in regular contact with, specifically family. I have lived 2 miles from my parents for my whole adult life, and church, I'm just a few minutes away. I'm one of the pastors at that church, and it's like having to leave them builds some, almost, I want to say anxiety, so that's not the right word, but just sadness, I think, on some level for what you've lost, even though you have excitement for what you're going towards. And that's been a little bit, I'll just be I picked up a shirt the other day that had the name of a disc golf club that I'm part of, and I literally started crying. Like, I'm a pretty emotional person, but like the little intangible things of, oh, I've been a part of this, and I'm leaving it behind, and how are they going to move on without me? And I realized I was almost looking at it entirely selfishly, but at the same time thinking other people rely on me more than maybe they do. And this is going to give everyone who does rely on me an opportunity to grow. And the same with you. Amanda's very active in our church, and they're going to have opportunities to fill those shoes and give someone else a chance to do the roles that she's in. And so when you pick up your entire life and your family, you do have to recognize there are some consequences to those in your life. And even though there's some sadness, the next step is going to be good. There's going to be a lot of joy in that. And we talked about this whole concept of grow where you're planted. And that, like I said, has been a huge mantra for us, that we are going to do our best to grow in the small plot of land, right? This is the pot that God gave us to grow in, and we're going to grow in it. And we're going to get as big as we can, restricted by the pot that we have, and the soil and the amendments that we can put into it, and we're going to make it what we can make it so that we can grow the fruit that we're intended to grow. And I think a lot of our viewers have just felt that that is it's something that's close to their hearts, your hearts. You might be stuck in a smaller pot, right? I guess I'm a city person, but I have a passion and a heart for being a farmer. How do I do it? And that's been something that, Amanda, you've just done a great job, I think, sharing how do you do it, and giving everyone just a wonderful peek into that. When we move, we'll be transplanting, and we've talked about how we do that with plants, but you made such a good point with that, that when a plant first is transplanted, sometimes they look a little droopy. Sometimes they don't know just how good that new spot's going to be.
It can be stressful.
It can be stressful. And there's a little bit of emotions for that plant as it goes, what is this? Why are you digging me up from my nice pot, my nice small area that I was comfortable and I was flowering? Did you see what I just gave you? These beautiful, now you're moving me. And yet it has no idea that the best is yet to come. The new garden that it's being planted in, it might be cold at first, it might be different, but it's good. And we're looking forward to that good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a crazy time with everything that's up in the air still, but we are there's stress that comes with everything that's going on, but I'm not worried at this point.
I'm glad she's not worried. I'm glad she's not. But logistically, we decided that as we do this whole moving process, we're gonna kind of share with you what you should do, what we're gonna do, and the ups and downs, the bumps along the way of what that looks like logistically. Think about what it would take in your life with all your things to pick up and move. You got to get a job. Do you get the job first or the house first? Because that's a question you have to answer. If I get a job, where am I going to move to? Something we're going to have to answer.
Yes.
If you have responsibilities in clubs, how do you pass those off? In churches, how do you pass those things off?
Yes, that's been a big one.
And so and then of course, how do you pack up animals if you have them and move them across the country?
Yeah.
We shared that we got a animal trailer. That's super exciting.
We didn't share that yet.
We didn't share that yet?
No.
We got an animal trailer.
We got a horse trailer to move the animals.
I thought we shared that. I'm a terrible person.
No, because we didn't tell people we were moving yet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, we should show it to you.
We should.
You want to see it?
Okay.
All right, we're going to show it to you. Here it is. This is our new trailer. This has been like one of those things that we have looked at over the years, but we haven't really had any need for a trailer. But now we got to take goats all the way across the country. Look at that thing. It's so beautiful. I mean, it's really not up on close inspection, but
it's old.
It's old. It's like a 88.
Yeah, 1988
1980s
or so. But it's in good
horse
shape.
Trailer. It's in good shape. Probably will need a new coat of paint, which we'll talk about how we do when we do that.
Yeah.
Like just an opportunity to share an experience, and we got on a great deal off of from someone who just needed it gone, and like
So,
okay.
And it was someone who had ponies, so he's got like the setup to make the dividers like shorter and things like that.
We have pony-sized goats.
Yeah, we have tiny goats.
So that's super cool. We're looking forward to this whole adventure. As we move over the next couple days and share the process of what we're doing, we're probably gonna have yard sales and just it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, it's been an insane process already, just because everything moves so quickly with the job. We really didn't expect to get the first job that we apply for.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, okay, we got to hit the ground running and get the house on the market. So we're going crazy trying to move stuff out and get rid of stuff and get ready for a cross-country move.
Absolutely huge thank you to my sister Monica, who came out.
Yes.
She drove up from LA where she lives, and she's just decided she's going to bless us by giving her time. I'm sure you'll see her in some of the videos. Thank you to my mother and father-in-law, who are just helping with the whole process, as they're also
hosting us at
their home, opening up a whole world to us. And then ultimately intending to move themselves to follow us out there to Tennessee.
Yep.
And then of course to my parents, who I can't imagine the emotional trauma that I'm putting them through by ripping their grandchildren away and leaving. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Ripping their grandchildren.
Yeah, but you can imagine that. I'm sure a lot of you are parents and grandparents, and you know just how that feels. And so our prayers are going to be with them, and we anticipate the yours will as well throughout this whole process, because you make a move and a decision to do something for the goodness of the well-being of your family, but there are others that are impacted by it. So we are not. It's not lost on us. There are some people that this can't be good news for.
Yeah, it's bittersweet.
However, for those of you who are sticking with us on YouTube, we are going to be continuing to document the process, setting up a new homestead. What does that look like? How do you do it? And
we should definitely start throwing some ideas out there we're probably going to have to rename our channel.
Oh, snap.
Because we're not going to be city anymore. So
well, we could be like ground sowers. No, we got some work to do. We could be like the goat people. No.
Wow.
We're gonna come up with something.
So, I'm definitely open to suggestions, not his.
I have many good suggestions. Some of them are even used.
But this trailer has already come in handy for some of the moving that we've been doing. We got a storage unit for a lot of our stuff to, wait until we're ready to actually move. And this thing has been incredible, because, you have a pickup truck that fits only so much in a run, but you pretty much double how much you can take in a single run.
Yep, check it out. It's got doors.
Oh, here,
Look at that.
Let's do like a little quick
tour?
Quick tour.
Come check it out. Come on. This is where you put your tack. And your dolly and truck.
So yeah, it's got storage space there. Whoop.
I have a tire. There we go.
More storage space, and there's more, it's identical on the opposite side of this divider.
In here, of course, this is where the horses would stand, and we took the center rack out for moving.
Yeah, you can actually, we took the divider out of here to be able to put furniture and stuff in here. It's fantastic.
All that to say, we are closing the door on a chapter of our life that has been amazing. It's been epic, and our epic continues. The story will unfold as only God can provide and will show us. And we're excited about that. So as one door opens, another one closes.
Yeah.
We have just a whole lot of adventure ahead of us, and we're really excited to carry you along, bring you along with us on that process.
Yep. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna just promise that, because it is really hard to pick up a camera in the middle of everything. So we may not have videos out as often as we would like, but I'm gonna do my best to document our whole move, our whole process, for a cross-country move. People, it's pretty daunting. So it's I really want to document it and to encourage others out there that it can be done. This is how you do it.
Yep.
I guess step number 1, get a storage unit.
And that's what we've done so far. So we've got several truckloads of trailer loads in the storage unit, and still more stuff to go. So that's where we're at the moment.
But yeah, we're getting ready for a massive transplant. So we
ready?
can keep growing. So we're gonna, for one of the last times, I guess, I'm gonna say this is your urban nerd.
Yeah.
With a goat herd.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna be urban anymore.
But you're gonna be urban for a while.
I'll still be a nerd.
We'll keep you posted on
I
just how long
promise,
she's
I will
urban.
still be a nerd wherever I go.
And you're gonna have a bigger goat herd.
I will have a bigger goat herd. Anyway.
A lot of details to come up with that. But right now we're saying you can grow
Where you're planted.
even if you're transplanted, right?
That's right.
We talked about that. Transplanting kind of sucks sometimes.
Yep.
Stressy, you know. So forgive us if we look terrible.